Hey there, guys, I'm a rock, and you know what time it is if you looked at the title of this video. It's another rant video. What this little ditty is on pertains to something gamers face a lot in the modern gaming society. Good old-fashioned ineptitude. And I don't mean the recognizable player stupidity in like first-person shooters either. What I'm talking about is a lack of care put forth by gaming companies. To be specific on this video, we're going to be looking at Nintendo. Okay, wait. To be fair, they're doing what Sony and Microsoft are also doing, only just a little bit more. To be fair, once again, let me just say, I love Nintendo. I love them. They've released some great stuff as a first party. In fact, my first gaming console was a SNES, or SNES, or Super Nintendo Entertainment System, if you want to be really technical, when I was only 2 years old. During the bit wars of the 90s, I preferred them to Sega. I used to like them more than Sony when the PSX and PS2 were released. But I can honestly say, as a fan, they've been making some questionable, and I use that word in quotes, choices within the last decade. Questionable choices there. Now, let's look at modern things and not try to complicate this by involving, Sony and the original PlayStation in this conversation, and look more towards the present and what they've been doing that I kind of am not fond of. Okay, let's do this. A big piece of criticism I have and a lot of people have towards Nintendo is Gimmick. I mean, you might be a company built on Gimmick, but that doesn't mean you should always rely on it. I'm talking about the Wii and the Wii U, as you probably already knew. Uh, in trying to become quote unquote newer and better, they've sacrificed the formula that made them, well, newer and better. Although you might be an older company, Nintendo, I mean, that kind of gets rid of the newer aspect now that I think about it. But although you might be an older company on the gaming scene, the whole experience versus trying to stay ahead of the curve thing always comes with risk. And their marketing and development teams should have seen that the reward just wasn't big enough. And when I say that, I mean, how far can you jump before reaching the event horizon, so to speak? My point is, if it's broke, don't fix it. There were other companies who tried to copy you with better technology, and even then, all it spawned was this wave of casual gamers that nobody likes, and it's still going on. Ugh. Segueing from that point, here's a vague description on what we do want from Nintendo. What do we want? Lots of stuff. We're people. We want new things all the time. And we want, stuff that we're used to, but new. As consumers of Nintendo's products, we want stuff like, there's a list. New Zelda games, new Mario games, remixes, remakes, what else? etc. Clothes, all this stuff, merchandise. But who's Nintendo actually paying attention to? My concerns with Nintendo, and I don't mean the merchandise, get serious with the term customer service when that's brought up. And I don't mean the Nintendo hotline either, for those of you who actually know what that is. I'm talking about their ability to communicate and recognize with what their fans want. Yes, there is a new Zelda game coming out. Yes, Super Smash Bros. 4 is being announced at E3 2013. But what else do we see? What else is there? Another sequel to New Super Mario Bros. U, which is just using the same formula that's been around for, I don't know, 20, 30 years. We also have Pikmin 3. That's nice, but there's one problem here. Actual new content. I feel as though for the past couple of years, Nintendo's been trying to subtly lull us into this coma where we get excited for their remakes rather than their new content. Why could that be? Could it be they're just not confident in their new stuff? Way to be newer and better. I mean, are you afraid that you won't make money with new things? Hey, Assholes! You wouldn't be in this mess if you just stuck to your formula. You know, I really hate dissing one of my favorite gaming companies like this. But I mean, it's true. Look at them. They're even going to lengths now where you put up your YouTube video of, a playthrough of like Metroid Prime or something, and since it has their intellectual property, they'll shut it down. How is that good fan communication? I mean, they're obviously looking at your stuff. This is where other companies come in. It's all about the money these days, and it's gotten to a point where indie games are more popular than industry standard games just for that. I mean, you look at the advantages indie games have and why they're so neat. Usually they have a new concept. They're out of the box thinkers, there's a small dev team, if not like 2 or 3 people, so a lot of love gets put into the game, a lot of care gets put into the game rather than, trying to make money. And it's just inventive, it's fun, it's cheap. It's not $60 usually. And it just winds up becoming a better game gameplay wise. The experience is interesting and new. I mean, a lot of the reasons why people buy consoles versus PCs these days is because, they're used to their favorite characters, like Smash Brothers with all the Nintendo characters, Mario, Zelda, Link, Kirby, Ness, if you know who, Earthbound, if you know that game. But, I mean, if you really want to see your favorite characters that bad, it's at the point where you can just play a fan game. Like the one being portrayed behind me. More care goes into those. Seriously.